there, welcome to Gingerbread DIY. I'm Sarah. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how to make this super adorable DIY gingerbread train home decor piece. And today's video is part of an open playlist that I am hosting with my good friend Jackie from Crafting in a Mimi's World. You're going to get tons and tons of gingerbread inspiration, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that here in a few minutes. So to get started, I'm using one of these lanterns from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use my box knife to score the top where the lantern and that top piece meets. I'm going to use multiple pieces from this lantern for our train, and you just have to score it a couple of times on each side with your box knife. It's not hard. I had tried to use my heat gun to remove the top, but the way they put these together is not only with a little bit of glue, but then there are some wood pieces that fit into each other like a puzzle. So I definitely had to use my box knife for this. And there you can see I pulled that top off. It was pretty easy. And you can see those little holes there where the bottom of the lantern fit into that top there. And then once you take that top off, everything else just kind of pulls apart. Just be gentle because you do want to save those side panels. Now, before we get going any further, I wanted to get the spackle going on these little holes. I'm just using the Dollar Tree spackle and my finger to fill those in, and then I will let that dry and sand off any excess. And then for the back of the train, for the cargo part, you're going to need 2 of these little treasure boxes. I picked these ones up from the Dollar Tree, but Michael's and Joann's, probably Hobby Lobby, they all carry these little treasure boxes. So you just take all the hardware off, and then you're going to use that bottom part. So you're going to need 1 for each cargo part of your train. So however many you want, I decided to go with 2, so I will prep 2 of these little treasure boxes. So I'm just giving it a quick sand, and then I'll fill in all those holes with a little bit of spackle as well, and then that will just give it time to dry nicely. So while that is drying, I'm going to measure out those side panels. Now on the side panels, 2 of them are wider and 2 of them are thinner, so you'll want 1 of each. So 1 of the more narrow one and 1 of the wider ones. I measured out 2 1/4 inches on each of those, and then I made a line with my pencil, and then I'm just using my box knife to separate those. So just score it a few times and then it will break apart easily. Just be careful because you definitely want to preserve your edges as much as possible. And as you can see, I'm just kind of trimming down any extra pieces that might have kind of splintered off. And then I'll just clean that up. So I'll do that with a narrow panel and then one with the more wide panel. And then I'll give everything a nice sanding. Now we're going to reassemble our pieces. So using a little bit of this wood glue from the Dollar Tree, this is the Super Glue wood glue. I really like this wood glue. It dries pretty quickly and it is a very good holding wood glue. I'm going to use a little bit of wood glue and hot glue to attach my panels. So you're going to do, I'm using my square here to make sure that everything is lined up. But basically, you're going to want your wider pieces to be across from each other with the more narrow piece in between those wider pieces. And that's how you're going to create your box. And you're just going to put it together like you would a regular box. And just use your square to make sure everything is lined up as best as possible. And then I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue on those inside joints just to secure it even better. I think the wood glue and the hot glue would have been secure enough, but I just wanted to make sure that it was nice and secure. Then adding some more of the wood glue and hot glue combo, I am going to place that all along one edge of our small box, and then I'm going to attach that back to the top that we took off originally. And this is going to start off our little engine. So I am going to take 3 of the tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to glue them side by side to make a square, and I'll do this twice. And then I'm going to glue those to the bottom of our little box here. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I wanted my train engine to be a little bit taller than it was. And because of that decorative piece that comes on that one side, you'd have to use like 2 of the lanterns in order to make them longer, because basically I cut those side panels in half and you need 2 of the wider ones. So that was just my solution for making my engine a little bit taller. I have these macrame wood pieces that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. My Dollar Tree had 2 different sizes, and these were the bigger ones at about 2 inches. And then I have these little mini wood round pieces. I get these at Michael's, and they're about 1.5 inches wide. And I'm just going to glue those little wood rounds to the center of these macrame rings. So just adding a little bit of hot glue on the very edge, and then kind of going around on the inside there just to kind of secure it. And I start off using a little bit of wood glue, but I think with the Gorilla glue sticks that I use, I'm not going to have any problem with this separating at all. So I'm just going to use the hot glue, but you can definitely use whatever kind of glue you feel most comfortable with. So that's going to give us the front of our train here. I was inspired by a real gingerbread cookie train, and they had used round cookies for the front of that. So that's what this is kind of representing. But ultimately what you're going to have is a little wood round, a macrame ring, a wood round, a macrame ring, a wood round, and then finally another macrame ring. And that will be for the front of our train. Now, to make the little skid part in the very front, I am using this wood kit that is a derby car wood kit. And I had 2 of these little wood kits, and in those wood kits are these little, I don't know what they are. They're for the back of the car, but they make a perfect kind of little semicircle, I guess. So I'm going to glue those 2 pieces together. And like I said, you're going to have 2 of those little wood kits for this. But you'll just glue those 2 pieces together to kind of make that half round. And then that will be our little front skid part for our train. I guess that's what it's called. I don't know what that piece is called. If you know what that piece is called on a train, let me know in the comments. And again, for this part, I'm just going to use a combination of hot glue and wood glue. Again, I just want to make this as sturdy as possible. It definitely won't be being played with. It'll be for decor purposes only, but I definitely don't want it to fall apart on me down the road. So using a little bit of that wood glue will help keep this all together a little bit better. And then you can see we're just going to add that to the front of our little box that we made before. I'll give everything a coat of the Waverly chalk paint in the color hazelnut once everything is glued together and dried. Now that the basics of our train engine are done, we're going to move on to our cargo boxes. And as you can see, I painted that bottom part of that treasure chest in the Waverly chalk paint in hazelnut. Our cargo boxes need some wheels. So for each of your cargo boxes, however many you want to make for your train, you're going to need 1 of those derby car kits from the Dollar Tree. And in that kit comes these little wheels and the dowels. Now, because our box is wider than our dowel, I just cut the dowel in half, and then I'm going to wood glue those into the hole, as you can see here, to the wheels. Now, you're going to want to make sure that you don't push that dowel in any further than the edge there. You want that to be nice and flat. It's because we're going to glue something on the front of those, but I did paint them the Waverly chalk paint in hazelnut as well, and then we're just going to attach them to the bottom of our cart with some hot glue. As I mentioned before, today's video is a collaboration open playlist with my friend Jackie from Crafting in Mimi's World. If you haven't been over to her channel and you love gingerbread and really great, fun, and easy DIYs, you definitely need to go check her out. She is so awesome and amazing, and I just love Jackie. She was one of my first friends here on YouTube, and we really bonded over gingerbread. She does amazing gingerbread DIYs, so if you're looking for lots of gingerbread inspiration and you haven't checked her out yet, definitely go check out her video. And then, of course, it is an open playlist today, and we're going to have a link in my description box below where you can go and see tons of creators making tons of gingerbread DIYs. So you're going to have lots of little gingy inspiration. So definitely go check it out. That long piece that you see in between my cars here is from a helicopter wood kit from the Dollar Tree. I love picking up those little wood kits when I see them because there's so many great little pieces that you can use for all kinds of things. And originally one of my little box cars here, as you can see, was red on the bottom. I actually had made a little wagon out of that, and I'll link that video up above for you if you're interested in seeing how I made a little mini wagon for tier tray decor. But these little pieces are just amazing. So if you don't have that helicopter kit, you could cut down a craft stick here. You don't have to have your box cars connected if you don't want to. If you just want to set them on your shelf or wherever you're going to display your train, you can do that separately. Now we're going to work on our wheels. These wood round pieces that I have are just from a kit that I had gotten a long time ago to make like birthday hanger display thing, and I never used the pieces, so I found those in my stash. They are about 1 1/4 inches wide, so a 1-inch wood round would work fine here, and I just spackled in those holes. Now, when you're going to paint something small like this, a little tip or trick is to place some blue painter's tape down with a sticky side up, and then place your items that you want to paint onto the painter's tape, and you won't have them rolling all around or moving on you as you're trying to paint. And also, like these bigger little wood rounds that I get from Michael's that are about 1 1/2 inches, you can just place those onto a little piece of tape on your finger, and then you can kind of paint the bottom and the sides of your wood round as well. Now I'm going to make these into little peppermint candies. So as you can see, I'm using my pencil here. I marked the middle as best as I could. I just kind of eyeballed it, and then I'm going to make those kind of swirly marks in the middle of, or on the little wood pieces here. And basically I'm just doing 4 little stripes, and then I'll paint those in with the Waverly chalk paint in crimson. And as you can see, I'm just using a small detail brush that I pick up from Walmart, and it's a really easy process. Just takes a few minutes to paint those in. So I apologize in advance that this is just one project. I know you guys love the gingerbread inspired projects, and I have tons of inspiration coming to you very soon. But this video is just going to be the train today because it is a little more involved, and there were definitely plenty of extra steps to create this cute little train. So once my red was all painted on my peppermints, I'm going in with a black Posca paint pen, and I'm just going to go around the red parts just to help them stand out. And now I'm going to use these little flat back pearls from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to hot glue them into the center of each of our peppermints. And now we're going to hot glue those right to the fronts of our wheels that we had hot glued onto our boxes earlier. And look how cute that is turning out. Now our bigger wood pieces or wood rounds that we painted with the peppermints are going to go onto the side of our box, and then one of the smaller ones will go onto the front part of the train. And you'll see what I'm talking about here, like right there. As you can see, I've got a bigger one and then a smaller one. I'm going to use some of the puff paint. I picked this bottle up from Walmart, and it is just fabric puff paint that you would use on like t-shirts or fabric of some sort, but it works great on wood decorating like you would for a gingerbread cookie. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the puff paint and then add some of these little red wood beads. These beads came from the Dollar Tree. They were in a multi-pack that had like a rainbow kind of variety of colors and multiple different sizes. And this was just a couple of the smaller beads. Now going in between our macrame rings that we had made before, I'm going to add some more of that puff paint, and that just is going to make it look like the cookies that were placed together with the frosting basically. So I'm just going to decorate this as I would if I was decorating a real gingerbread train, and I'm just going to let you guys enjoy the music and enjoy the decorating. And how cute is that? I am just loving this so far. So now we're going to work on our cars, and I had picked up these straws from the Dollar Tree that are like candy cane striped. Jackie had used these last year in quite a few of her different DIYs, and so when I saw them at my Dollar Tree, I definitely grabbed a package to use on some gingerbread DIYs. So I'm just going to measure out the length that I need for my box cars, and then I'm going to use my box knife to cut those up. And I decided to use a box knife instead of scissors because I was afraid that if I used the scissors, it would kind of pinch those ends, and then they would be kind of wonky. So I wanted it to be as round as possible on the straws. And then before I add my straws to my boxcar, I'm going to use some more of that puff paint to decorate the outside of my boxes. And that's just because I wanted to give this time to dry. And I didn't want to get too much of the puff paint on the straws because I just wanted it to be more kind of clean look. And so I figured by getting the puff paint on first, that would help keep it from getting onto the straws. But you can definitely do it however you want. Maybe you want to have a little bit of the puff paint on the straws, and that is totally fine. Anything you do to decorate your gingerbread train is totally up to you. And that's one of the things I love about these little gingerbread inspired projects, is that you can really let your creativity flow with these projects. And if you are having a hard time figuring out how you want to decorate your gingerbread inspired DIYs, definitely go onto like Pinterest and look at real gingerbread decor, like the real gingerbread houses and trains and all. I mean, they make all kinds of stuff out of gingerbread, and you can definitely get tons of inspiration from real gingerbread decorations. And I just used hot glue here to glue down those straws. And I also wanted to add some of these straws onto my train engine. So it's kind of an afterthought. I was like, ooh, that'd be really cute on the little train engine. So I'm going to cut down 4 pieces, and I will put 2 on each side of the train. And you'll see here, I'll do one side, and then I just do the exact same thing on the other side. And I'm just loving how this little train is turning out. It's so cute. And this is going to be such a fun decor piece. Now, I had some of these picks from Valentine's Day. They are little hearts on skewer sticks, and I just basically took the skewer stick off of the heart, or cut it however you want to do it. These just kind of, I discovered that the skewer sticks just really kind of twist and pull right out of those hearts. But I'm going to add some of these red hearts onto different parts of my train. You'll see where I add those here in just a minute. But if you don't have these little red hearts, you could definitely paint some red hearts onto your gingerbread train here, wherever you want to add a little red heart. And then I had these little wood candy canes. These came from Hobby Lobby in like a little wood kit. And I just painted 2 of them up, placed them together to look like a little heart, and then I'm going to put that on the back of my train. And that's just because I wanted to add a little decoration to the back of the train. Definitely can add anything you want. And then I'm going to go back in with more puff paint and just finish out decorating my gingerbread train here. And that's pretty much all there is. I'm just going to add a little bit of puff paint to the top just to hide any seams. Basically, that's kind of what I'm doing here. It's just making it look nice and clean. So you're just going to continue decorating until you are happy with how your train looks. Now, before we go to the final reveal, I wanted to make note of the fact that I'm not going to hot glue or glue my boxes to my train engine. And that's just going to give me more options for decor. Like if I wanted to angle my my engine differently than the box cars, that's going to give me that option. So you can definitely glue them all together if you would like, or you can keep each piece separately. It is completely and totally up to you. And here is a look at our final reveal. I am so incredibly happy with how this little train turned out. I absolutely adore this, and I can see it being a part of my decor for years to come. You're gonna have to let me know what you think of this little project. Again, I apologize for only having one project in this video, but as you can see, it took us 24 minutes to get through the creation of this sweet little gingerbread train. And I knew there was going to be a big playlist today, and I want to make sure that you have time to go to everyone's video in the playlist. So definitely check out that playlist. Check out Jackie's channel if you haven't been there. Make sure you go to Jackie's channel today and see her video. You're going to be amazed and inspired and have tons of gingerbread inspiration today. I really hope you enjoyed this project. Think of all the things you could put into your little train. You definitely could put some little candies in here. I definitely probably keep them wrapped up candies, or you can add like the little trees or, you know, mini items in here, little gingerbread men in here. The possibilities are endless. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know what you think of this little gingerbread train. Let me know if you think you're going to make one like it. If you were inspired, give this video a big thumbs up. And until our next time together, have a great day. Bye.